Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to wherever you may be in the world and when you get to this video. Yo, man, what's going on with Claressa Shields? The GOAT. Now, she was on the Breakfast Club. Everybody's talking about it. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse to the point to I resuscitate it. But I'm going to tell you, I kind of digested that interview. And let me tell you what I think Claressa Shields is doing. I think she's trying to just create a buzz. Every time she gets in front of a microphone, she creates a buzz. And I have enough sense to watch and say, I think what she's doing is calculated. I think it's very intentional. And I think they're doing it just to keep her name out there. She said, I am the algorithm. Yeah, she is. But at what cost? So when she pulled up to the Breakfast Club, she did what she always does. You know what I'm saying? Get people talking. But this time the conversation, it wasn't about the belts. It wasn't about her dominance in the ring. It wasn't really about her legacy. People weren't talking about that. Clarissa didn't really talk much about that either. They're talking more about her presentation. Now, there's some things she was talking about. Something about her cat, her body, being in shape, what that could mean in the bedroom, amongst a myriad of other things. But this is the problem. I can sit here and admit that there's a certain greatness when it comes to Claressa Shields inside the ring. Now listen carefully what I just said. Inside the ring. Now, I listen to what most people have to say, but then sometimes I sit that aside and I go with what I see and what I feel, my opinion, because we're all entitled to our own opinions. You're not entitled to your own facts. But one thing about Clarissa, she's arguably the most accomplished woman in boxing history. All right? I mean, she's got the resume, man. Multi-division champion, undisputed, generational athlete, right? I heard somebody the other day say, Clarissa's not athletic. I'm like, look, man, if you don't like her, you don't like her, but goddamn, you can give her some credit for being athletic, you know what I'm saying? She's only been whipping ass in boxing since she's been an amateur. And even now as a pro, she's still doing the business, so you can't take that from her as far as what she does as an athlete. Now, the problem is, instead of reinforcing that image, the Olympian, the generational athlete, she's kind of leaned into this whole thing talking about, and on that interview about her body and low miles and talking about the physical attributes and how she got that big lobster tail back there, man, and how to make a man want seafood and shit. She just suggested this shit about the bedroom and because she's in shape. Now, she didn't get explicit. But I saw that and I said, yo, there was no talk about her greatness. And they didn't even get on that because it was just more talking about the drama. I'm like, they barely talked about the possibly fighting Suggestive Green, and it was more around the drama. But again, everything shifted away from where I thought the focus should be was her greatness. But Clarissa seemed to want to talk more about, nonsense. You see, for many fans, men and women, when you are here talking about things, even if it wasn't explicit, but it's suggestive, it comes off as unnecessary and off-brand. So when I listen to that, I'm like, I'm trying to understand, because I'm telling you, she's interesting to me. I'm like, why? So I'm out here trying to break it down deeper, because it isn't about just like what she said to me. It's about why it hit people the way it does, and why it hits me the way it does, you know? Now, I already talked about the Layla Ali stuff, so I'm not going to get into that. If you haven't, I'll put it this way. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, go to my channel and you'll understand why I ain't talking about Layla right now, because all that's been covered and more. In the last, I did about maybe 10, 11 videos, and we had Layla Ali on the channel last night. So I ain't here to talk about all that in here. That's already been addressed. But for me, I'm just trying to break this down deeper, because I think there's two lanes here. I think you have confidence versus validation, right? Authentic confidence. I'm the best. Look at my accomplishments. Grounded in results. Doesn't need extra reinforcement when you got the results. You got the facts. You got the proof. You got the resume. You know what I'm saying? But then the external validation seeking. Drawing attention beyond the craft. Shifting into personal or provocative territory. Creating reactions to stay in the spotlight. To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, anyone who chooses to go this path, hold your horses and stop taking it to the goddamn stupid. So Clarissa walks a very thin line between both, but, most people feel, especially in the last, 4, 5, 6 months, it's all about external validation seeking. She done dropped the sweatsuit and the little miniature ponytail, and she done put on the weave, the eyelashes, the minks, the this, the that. I mean, it's like lights, camera, action when she hit the goddamn road. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm saying is it's a noticeable change to Claressa Shields, and what the young people say now, glowed up or some shit. I keep hearing out here, whatever the hell that means. But I guess she's taking more pride in her appearance and wants to show that she's not masculine and she's more than just this strong boxer, female boxer. She wants to show people that she's a lady. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you this. On one hand, she's clearly confident. She even feels she'll whip men's asses. Triple G, Rolly, Earl Spence, Keith Thurman. She still got a little something she got to fix with the guy from the sparring session. But, it was a man. He clipped her. It happens in sparring. So on one hand, she's clearly confident, right? On the other, it's like moments like this feel like someone's reaching for additional validation beyond boxing. And that shit confuses fans, because why? Let's be honest. With everything Claressa Shields has done, as an amateur, as a pro, what is this thing where it seems like she just needs to have people almost, or she's telling herself, I'm okay, y'all not okay. Look at me. And y'all got to help me out. She's like, I'm snatched. I'm like, what the hell is a snatch? That's crook. You snatching purses, snatching herringbones. You snatching Figueroas and shit. I don't know what that. You tell me snatch. I'm thinking a crook. I don't know what that means. I ain't up on the latest slang, so y'all got to help her champion out, man. I'm from the old school. I don't know what that shit means. But I'll just tell you, man, when she's showing she's clearly confident as far as what she can do as a fighter, we can understand that, because she is a fighter and she can fight. But when she starts trying to force us to acknowledge something that we don't see, but she feels we should see, that shit confuses people. And I'm telling you, it backfires with the fans. Now, I'm listening to the ladies and a lot of the guys. I listen to them. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of supporters who want to celebrate Claressa Shields for her discipline, for her dominance, for her historic achievements. But when the narrative becomes, it's like, yo, did you hear what she said? Instead of, did you see what she did? that's when frustration kicks in for a lot of people. And many fans are essentially saying, yo, you don't need to do all this. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Your greatness is already enough. Stop taking it to the stupid. And again, she always going to have a tough time out here with the ladies because, because of her situation. You know what I'm saying? The ladies ain't letting that shit go. I think for every 1,000 women I've spoken to, maybe 2 are like, hey, leave her alone. But I'm being honest. That ain't no hyperbole. I mean, I'm being honest. For like every 1,000, there's like 2 who are cool with it. The other 998, they're not trying to hit. But I'll say this. Whatever y'all feel about the relationship, y'all know I don't care. Everything's entertaining to me. But one thing that I will say about Clarissa, because I just thought about it today, because I listened when she talking about natural, all natural, me, cocoa, I'm cocoa, cocoa for cocoa puff, I'm natural. When she talked this natural thing, right, I never really paid it any attention. But today I was like, I started thinking, when you look at a lot of these women out here right now, how many women have the confidence who are in a position like her to come out in public and not have some kind of augmentation done to their body? I know Clarissa has the veneers in and shit. I mean, I get it. But when you see some women, they're doing something to their skin, something to their facelift and Botox, and they're getting these butt lifts and things in their breast, and they can do what they want, right? It doesn't affect me. But one thing about her is that she hasn't been surgically enhanced. And somebody pointed that out. They were like, yo, Hood, that should be a strength. You know what I'm saying? She's open about being natural. Why do you think the women don't give her credit for that? I'm like, because there's so much other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? That she puts out there, and women know that. I'm sure most women would say, would applaud her for that. Because as much as she fumbles around with the makeup and fumbles around with the weaves and has all them furs, look like someone went in her closet, like I said the other day, took a pack of Skittles and just burst that shit up in the closet and follow the goddamn rainbow. Fur this, fur that. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Fur. Crazy and shit. Almost Sasquatches. I ain't never seen nobody wear so many furs. But again, look, I ain't out there on the strip no more. I ain't out there up in clubs. That may be the style. I don't know what the styles are. But I ain't never seen nothing like that. But the person was right when they were talking about it. But I think most women would say, hey, she's kind of, out here dabbling with this other stuff. But that is true. She hasn't gone that route. You know what I mean? Physically authentic. Physically real. And she seems to be somewhat comfortable in her own skin. But this is the thing. The people want to give her credit for that, but when you constantly highlight physical traits of sexuality in interviews, it comes across less like confidence and more like seeking acknowledgement for it. And that's where the perception starts to shift. So to that individual who was engaging me, hey, I hear you, but at the same time, yo, hold your horses, stop taking it to the stupid. Because you got to listen to what the ladies are saying. And I listen. I don't agree all the time, but I can understand. We don't have to agree if I can understand you. Now, one thing I didn't understand is this thing about, maybe I should just hold my horses and not take it to the stupid. About podcasters and critics being paid to hate or lie on her. Something along those lines, right? I can tell you this. If somebody wants to pay me for the videos I do or to create a video to kind of create bullshit narratives, hey, Cash App, $, Hood Champion Boxing. Go ahead and send me some of that Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching ching, dollar bill, y'all. Because I haven't received a goddamn dime. And I wouldn't mind getting that money because I'm going straight to goddamn China Hing with my 4 sons, and we getting fried rice and chicken wings. And I'm putting plenty of duck sauce on that shit. But this thing about podcasters and critics being paid to lie on her and hate on them, man, yo, that shit adds a whole nother layer of taking it to the stupid, because now it becomes like not just controversy, but conflict with media and fans. And she doesn't have the best relationship with a lot of the people out here on social media anyway. And she does have an expanded fan base, but she also has an expanded base of people who disapprove of her. But the reality is this, right? Because hood champions fair. I'm all about the people. Some of that criticism that she get is unfair, but not all criticism is fake or paid. You got people out here who just want to get clicks, and I get it. Somebody sent me a link to something today, and I'll put it to you this way. There are people who they'll just sit there and basically take the script of a presentation someone puts out, and they'll just basically go and regurgitate the whole script. Like, just wow, man. And I'm like, what is this shit? It's like, and then they start adding their own twist to it and mixing it up. And I'm like, wow, that person didn't say this. So I understand that some of the criticism is unfair. People just say anything for clicks. But I'm going to say this, man. If someone's getting paid, okay, look, I don't know that. But I'll tell you what, not all criticism is fake or being paid. So when everything gets labeled as hate, it can alienate real supporters and make accountability harder and creating us versus everyone dynamic. So my thing is, I hear you, but at the end of the day, you got to stop taking it to the stupid, because the bigger issue is brand versus behavior. Forget all that bullshit about content creators and making up shit about how we getting people out here getting paid. Like, I don't know what's happening with anyone out there. I don't even care. Because I just don't care. I don't keep up with that shit. But I can say for me, ain't nobody giving me nothing. But again, $ hood champion boxing. I go right to China Hing, get me some of them. They make that boneless barbecue pork spare ribs. My homeboy makes it with the chicken thighs for me. So I don't even get the pork. And get that fried rice and chicken wings. And I bring that home, we bust up some cucumber, watercress, and salad. Me and my sons eat. Plenty duck sauce. But this brand versus behavior, Claressa Shields, she's not just a fighter anymore. You know what I'm saying? She is a brand. And she seems to be trying to work on her brand. I'll say it's a work in progress. They seem to be having some successes. She's doing music. Some people like it, some people don't. She's on the Zeus network. Something's going on over there. Some people like it, some people don't. She's talking about getting into fashion. She could be getting into movies. She could be doing modeling, some runway stuff. Look, some people like it, some people don't. But the reality is, she is one of the main faces of women's boxing. And there are some people, look, they feel like, yo, Clarissa represents the struggle, coming from the hood. You know what I mean? Breaking up one pack of top ramen with your siblings. So I get it, but I would say this: with that comes expectations, fair or not. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it feels like her talent, as far as a fighter inside the ring, is elite, but the messaging, it's just not pairing up. You know what I mean? It is inconsistent, and that disconnect is what frustrates fans. In addition to what almost every woman talks about, the relationship. Is a serious disconnect. You would think that the women would be 100% behind, well, you would think like 85% behind all those female fighters. And you listen to them, they don't really say anything about anyone except for Claressa Shields. And when they do, they have a reason. They're not, it's like, I could ask you, why do you dislike her? And they won't say, well, I just don't like her. They will sit there And you better be careful asking women that kind of question, boy. You better, like, you sit down. You got time? Sit your ass down. And they will sit there, man, and they can take this shit all the way back. Start talking about, who was on Love and Hip Hop and what they fell in love with about who was doing what. All the way up to the point to where when Clarissa met somebody and this and that and something to where we are now. They break that down. So with me, I don't ask them questions. Because, boy, it's like unlocking the goddamn main water valve outside, man, and now or the fire hydrant, and now they just flood your ass with conversation. The women don't be playing, man. But again, the messaging is inconsistent, and there's a big disconnect with the fans, and she doesn't seem to be going in a direction to reconnect with a lot of fans who are frustrated. But most have just turned their back and like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with her. I don't want nothing to do with her. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her. I don't want to smell nothing. I don't want nothing. I don't want to taste nothing. Nothing from nothing. Leave nothing. But, I try to sit back and ask, man, because the truth is greatness should be enough. What she does in the ring should be enough. But I'm just telling you right now, man, that doesn't seem to be enough to give her validation. And there are some people. They can have all the money in the world. But up here, the mind ain't right. They need validation. Or they turn to something, man, that can give them this temporary satisfaction. But I don't think a person needs shock value. I don't think they need extra controversy. I don't think they need personal oversharing, because for someone like Clarissa, the legacy, that shit speaks loudly. But the legacy, as far as a fighter, that seems to be okay. Her legacy, because what she does with these bing bings. But as far as her image as a champion, that could affect her legacy. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to be remembered? Legacy, not just these here, how you conducted yourself. What are you leaving? What impression are you leaving on us? It's all part of legacy, people. And just like I said, the legacy already speaks loud. Oh yeah, we know what she can do with these. But also her legacy when it comes to how she conducts herself, that speaks very loud as well. So when you bring the two together, that's where that legacy kind of gets a bit tarnished. You know what I mean? And there are people who just reached their boiling point. They're just tired. I had somebody saying the other day, hey man, we're just trying to support her, but man, she makes it hard. And when she come out here talking about Layla Ali and start talking and stuff about her body and and all this other crap, they're like, it makes it impossible for us to support her. And they're like, yo, it ain't hatehood. It's confusion, it's frustration, and we just tired. Shit is exhausting. And I'm like, nah, I hear you. I'm tracking. That's my word. I'm tracking. But I'll tell you this. You know why they feel like that? Because they see someone with GOAT level potential in boxing, but I would say GOAT level potential in boxing, but unpredictable messaging outside of them bing bings. So Clarissa did it again. Went on the Breakfast Club. Fans are fed up with the nonsense. Y'all remember what happened last time, man? She created a buzz the last time she was on it. That time she had Papoose. She had Papoose with her. And she was sitting in the back looking angry. And they finally got her up there. You could tell it was early in the morning. I'm not trying to make fun of her. But you could see the bags under her eyes and everything, man. Probably went to bed late, woke up early. I do it, because I'll stay on my lives at like 2:30 in the morning, and then I'm up at 5:30. You're talking about 3 hours of sleep, you know what I'm saying? So I understand. Plus, I've had to get little to no sleep before. So, I mean, at 50, I can still do it. But at that interview, shit went viral there too, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff she was talking about up there. Talking about what I look like being second to a man when I got, 2 gold medals and this and that. And Papoose was just there, man, like, yo, man, balls on wheels. You could tell he just looked exhausted. But he wasn't with her at the Breakfast Club this time. Why? I don't know. the ladies in my chat would say, well, because Pap was upstairs. I don't know where that man was, but he wasn't there. And she was having the time of her life with the way she was talking and acting. But my thing is, for Clarissa, she's a great fighter. But I just got to ask one question. What is she doing? What is she doing? It just always seems to be something. And I'll give her credit as a fighter. I always do. Clarissa is the real deal, man. But when she goes in that Breakfast Club, always sparking controversy. Always sparking some controversy. Anyway, this is not the buzz Claressa Shields needs, in my opinion. But like my boy would tell me, he's like, yo, you know what, man? As long as they're talking about you in hip-hop and business, that's all that matters. Good, bad, indifferent, as long as they're talking about you, then you're winning. I don't know if I agree with all that, but I respect what my boy told me because he's not no average Joe. He's not, I just leave it like that. He's not a normal cat. He got his shit together. But when he started telling me that, it's like, I kind of understand what he's saying, but I don't agree. But to me, the buzz Clarissa's creating, it's not what she needed. Anyway, y'all keep cool. In the breeze.